Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. This video is a very interesting one. Very hot. My sister's here. Say hi.
Hello.
Come here.
How was your day?
Come here.
No.
To you.
Oh, TikTok is...
Okay guys, so I kind of switched it up a little bit. You can kind of see my Monster Hot Dog collection and my candle. Just for a little bit of fun background. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about GRLwood. If you guys don't know who GRLwood is, basically GRLwood is a punk rock band. Yeah, punk rock band. And GRLwood was getting famous at the time that the whole entire allegations were going on. And if you guys don't really know what happened, basically, so it's a two-person band, right? And one of the people in the band accused the other person of the band of raping them. And yeah, they have a big fan base and no one's really been talking about it. So I'm going to take the courage today to read you guys everything. And just to put it simply, people don't really know the full story, and I think people really need to know the full story. So today I'm going to tell you the full story. Let's get straight into it. So pretty much what happened was I, as a fan, heard from my sister that this person raped the other person in the band. Well, the lead singer raped the drummer of the band. And I was very shocked. And I was like, that's a lie. That didn't happen. And then a few days later after that, the person who said they were raped, put out a long message about saying that they're going to be leaving GRLwood. This message I'm going to read you is very sweet, honestly, very down to earth, and honestly pretty short in compared to what we're going to be reading for the rest of the video. But this person went ahead and said, I want to start out by saying thank you to each and every one of you for being so supportive of me over the years. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would get this far in music. The huge growth of success we have experienced over the past few months has been extraordinary and incredible to watch. It has been such a beautiful experience to interact with so many of you and relate on so many levels. I am forever thankful to all who have reached out to us and told us their story. However, my brother's crazy. However, this whole experience has made me realize that I have not been true to myself. I have decided to leave GRLwood out of respect for myself and my body. This is one of the hardest decisions I've ever made, but this is time that I be honest with myself. There is so much that I've kept hidden from the world since GRLwood became a duo band back in August of 2017. Shortly after me and my bandmate met, I was raped by them. I felt so much effing pain and shame, but I decided to disregard my feelings, betray my heart, and stay because I decided that being in a successful band is more important than respecting myself. There was also this strange longing to try and be my bandmate's friend, even though they disrespected me to unprecedented levels. I wanted their approval so much, like a child craves the approval of an absent parent. I am not putting this out to cancel anyone. I am sharing this because I have a voice, and I will no longer sit silent in pain. I understand from messages that GRLwood receives daily that many people find that our music helps them. I do not wish to take that away from you, but I have decided to share my story. If this taints our music to you, I am sorry for misleading you for all of this time. However, if you do decide to keep listening to our music, know that know that you will not offend me. My opinion is that music transcends those who create it, and it can be catalyzed by the listener however they choose. That is my opinion, and you obviously do not feel the same way. I love you all. Please stay true to yourself and never fall into the false narrative that you must suffer for your art. I will be making music again soon. Love, that person. So as you can see, this was very alarming to a lot of the fans. And I'm going to go ahead and honestly kind of look at the comments a little bit. One of the comments just said, most of the comments are, "You're very strong, we love you. If you need anything, we're here for you." Dude, what the fuck? You know, just, we stand with you. And all of that. So it was extremely, alarming to many people. And honestly, I personally thought after that post that was going to be the end of it. Did you think that?
Kind of.
Yeah. Well, did you even see the post or hear about it?
I mean, I still wanted to keep listening to that music, but I just stand in a neutral stance from that.
Yeah. So obviously that alarmed many people. And I personally thought, okay, maybe that's going to be the end of it. And I was honestly shocked at what got posted a few hours later. So then, the other person of the band, the person who had that allegation against them, posted a very, very long message that I'm going to be reading to you guys. Not everyone read this message for multiple reasons. One, people think that it was not written by this person because, obviously, when people are apologizing or explaining a story, a lot of people nowadays have writers. I 100% believe that this person did write it, though, because of multiple reasons. You can literally see the glare of this person taking photos of the screen. Also, just by how long it is and genuine it seems. Also, I'm going to try my absolute hardest to not say any names while I'm reading this. So, if I do accidentally make a flub up, I'm sorry, and I'll try to edit it out. I don't think I'm going to. Hi, this is editing. I went ahead and I'm not going to put the photos of the text because there's multiple reasons. One, it's already small enough. It is very small text. And two, there's a lot of name dropping in it, and I just don't really want to, go out and name drop anyone. So, sorry about that. This person said, "Hey everyone, there are a lot of questions everyone has, as this person has made a public statement about leaving GRLwood and has used a very serious accusation towards me, claiming that I had raped them 3 years ago. They made their statement public on the band page's Instagram and on their personal Instagram approximately 14 minutes after the resignation note had been posted. Management had it removed and I was informed of what had happened. Because of the removal of the post, I have been personally accused of silencing this person, which I do not feel is fair. Their testimony is on a public account named blank. I welcome you to go to their personal page to cross-reference my account, educate yourself on what this person had to say, and/or act as a support for this person instead of sending me death threats and harassing me. Before I detail my experience in this unhealthy relationship, I want to commend the GRLwood fans for their efforts in acting so quickly to want to hear someone's story when they say they have been abused. I'm proud of you all genuinely. I'm happy that my music at this point has inspired you all to be so brave in your actions. This person's account is their narrative right now, and they're coming from a place of hurt and they need support, not people siding against one another, just wanting to clarify that outright. And I ask you to please stop sending me death threats saying that you're going to kill me. I started the band as a means of journaling my experiences as a non-gender conforming, women-perceived, non-binary persons, and my experiences in that and my past traumas with being raped myself, my mother, and coming of age in less than favorable terms. When you hear the lyrics to these songs and feel empowered by them, know that these songs are my narrative and my experience. I do not consume alcohol and I do not consume drugs. I do not consume any mind-altering substance to any degree because small amounts of marijuana during short segments in me and this person's relationship. Because of family trauma and other various past trauma, I am very uncomfortable in spaces where people partake in these activities as well. This is a well-known fact locally and amongst the people who personally know me. I have been held down by someone who is intoxicated, have objects forced inside of myself. That person then wrapped their hands around my throat until I couldn't breathe and forced these objects in my mouth, dangerously restricting my breathing. That moment was not consensual, and I asked them to stop, and to me, this was a rape situation. This song, Clean, is about this person, and they're lying to make themselves look / feel clean to other people when I was in their presence. The song, Take Off Your Clothes, is also about this person. I've had someone who's intoxicated. They couldn't walk up the stairs to my bedroom, and my roommates helped them, tossed them into my bed, and said, have fun. That person then fought to flip me over, bruised me, cut me with their nails, hit me, was violently biting me, leaving deep teeth marks. All in the meanwhile, I was asking them to stop, crying, and telling them no. So that was obviously a rape situation, in which once the morning came and they left, I've never heard from them again. I was playing a show as GRLwood when I met this person on August 5th. They asked if I wanted to have a drummer, and they said that they played the drums. From there, we began a friendship, first and foremost, a friendship that was never quite romantic per se, but definitely was physical in the beginning. For the next 3 weeks or more, this person would drive across the river in Jeffersonville, Indiana to play music in a backyard shed with me, and go for long walks / skate with me until about 4 to 6 a.m. almost every single night before they would go home for the night, and would sit in their car and make out with me. Me being a queer person and having a long relationship with people who are trans, non-binary survivors of trauma, including myself, I'm very intentional and always verbally asking for people for consent. So the first time and every time we would ever make out, I asked this person. They said sure and leaned in. From here, on various occasions between making out, they would always ask me, why do you always ask me? I explained, because verbal consent is important to me because of my past trauma. This person then teased me for days about saying that I should just do it, and that it was a dorky and nerdy and ruins the moment, and that I should just go with the flow. The teasing me about asking for consent even went as far as this person making a jingle on their phone, so whenever they just say, do you want to make out? And I have this media now, and I can share it with anyone who can think I'm lying. From here, even through the teasing, I never stopped asking every time we had a moment, whether it was just a kiss or more. We continued making out and having intimate physical relations from when we first met in August, September, and October. And I left for a trip in November and December to take a mental break and returned and formally broke it off with this person. I invited them to my room, to which at this point they had moved in with me, and I prefaced the conversation by saying I wasn't sure if they wanted to continue while we were both in the music industry and it feels too complex. Not knowing how they felt and stating my feelings, I asked this person if they wanted to continue making out. They said no. I said great, thank you for telling me. So we stopped and we never had a physical, intimate interaction after that. Okay, now let's fast forward to almost a year after this time period. I had some issues with this person's drinking and substance abuse and some unhealthy behaviors. I tried to express that I felt the workload was disproportionate in regards to booking shows, email management, merch, loading the gear, making CDs, and etc. I had tried talking to this person a few times, in which they would respond by telling me that I am too harsh, that I should smoke weed to calm down, and that my expectations were way too high. At the time, I did not smoke weed. During this argument about communication and work distribution, they got upset and said, "Oh yeah? Well, you raped me. There." I was immediately silent. I knew the next thing that I was going to come out of my mouth was going to be, "Nuh-uh," because you don't respond to someone that way, even if I was completely dumbfounded as to what the partner was referring to. So from there I asked, "When did this happen?" They said, That one time after when we were in the car after leaving Cincinnati, I said I had no idea you felt that way, so why didn't you tell me? This person said that they didn't want to hurt my feelings. I told them I needed time to process this as I didn't understand how to make my experience of a completely consensual moment in which this person verbally said that I wanted to pull over to make out in a future argument became an experience to where they were saying that I had raped this person. So I tried to talk the situation out with them, discussing how I remember the event and asking / listening to help me understand at which moment between us was rape. On that night, October 13th, 2017, this person had only played a small handful of shows with me, and we were a very small local business at the time. We had been together for almost 2 months. When we finished performing, we packed the gear in the back of the car together. I helped them puke because their stomach was upset. They got in the car and left. On the drive, I asked them if they wanted to stop outside of this area, which was an hour and a half away from our destination, where there wasn't a lot of light pollution and there were stars, so we can make out. They said that they wanted to. They made a comment along the lines of, "Are you sure you don't mind if I puke breath?" To which I told them, "Oh, I don't mind," and asked to pull off the highway. And then I asked them if drinking water would make them feel more comfortable. They nodded. I handed them a bottle of water. And an hour and a half later, I pulled off the side of the highway, which runs parallel along the main highway, over to the side of the road with myself, remaining in the driver's seat. I turned to the person and asked if it was alright. They said yeah. From there, I asked if they wanted to make out. They said yeah. From this point, they leaned across the middle section to meet my mouth, as we both remained in our car seats during the duration of the encounter. When we were stopped, we looked at the stars. It was a bit chilly, and the windows were dirty, and I asked if they were ready to go home. They nodded and said yeah. So from there, I drove us back to the city. I was in absolute shock that out of all of our past sexual experiences, this being the lesser sexually involved encounters we'd had somewhere in this person's narrative meant that I had raped them. So I asked them in their car during this heated exchange when they said that I had raped them, How? How did you come to this conclusion? They responded by saying that they were drunk, therefore the lines of consent were blurred. I responded by saying that they had 2 beers that night. And from this person's drinking habits and my complete sobriety, never at any point that night did I believe that there was a point of not being able to give consent because they were drunk. I did not want to invalidate this person's experience, but I was also upset because I did not understand. I asked them why they didn't say no, if in their heart they felt like they did not want to. They said yes because they didn't want to hurt my feelings and because they wanted to just be my friend. I brought up that they had only 2 beers. How am I supposed to assume that consent was invalid on behalf of you having 2 beers that night, 2 hours prior to the event? From there they said, well, they were craft beers. To which then I asked them, as to why then after that night, if they felt I had raped them, why they wanted to continue playing music with me. Why did they move in with me? Why did they keep making out with me? Why did they never tell me until an argument many months later into the future, etc.? They responded, well, maybe it wasn't right, but a moment where lines of consent were blurred. I thought long and heavy about this, and this was meant for my friend/partner. If alcohol was an excuse, and if they used the word yes with me, knowingly, how am I supposed to respond from here? Knowing this person has had past encounters with sexual harassment and assault, and when those moments had to them, they immediately went to the police and is familiar with the legal system in regards to those things, and if they did not want those people, why didn't they do that with me? Why did they only bring it up many months later after during an argument? Lots of thoughts were swimming through my head. I walked away with the conclusion that I couldn't speak up if we had felt issues because they would threaten me with a rape accusation, hoping that that wasn't the case, and because the conversation ended with them saying that a moment was not rape, we continued the band and it wasn't brought up until almost a year later. So a year later, in 2018 to 2019, a conversation happens amongst, at the time, girlfriends of this person and I, to which information is returned to me that I had a rapey encounter with this person in which it wasn't rape, but it was rapey. I was very upset and I did not know what to do, realizing that my partner is telling people this story, but when they talk to me, they are telling me a completely different narrative. So, the second time this is a tough conversation happens between this person and I bring it up. The conversation started with me trying to ask how we can better our communication skills together, as I was still having issues with this person when I felt afraid to speak my mind, and I felt often insecure about communicating, and I brought it up. This person and I were in the car, and I mentioned that their girlfriend had told my girlfriend about a rapey incident. I immediately started crying and expressed to this person that I feel awful, and even after talking to this person that this is the way I felt, I'm having severe issue dealing with this, especially if they are now saying that the incident was rapey. This person responds by saying, I didn't know you thought about it. I don't think about it much. I don't think it was a big deal, and it doesn't bother me. To which I am now growing very upset, responding with, of course this is a big deal. Of course this deeply upsets me. You are telling people that I raped you. I told this person that I was going to stop doing GRLwood altogether unless and only unless we get therapy together. This person did not agree to therapy, so we continued our tour, in which we didn't talk about the subject again until the last leg of our tour near December, and then not again until our last big fight up until this past week, and I'll get to that. During the last leg of our tour, we were outside of Washington, and I felt very cornered by this person. I had tried to have multiple talks with them about me feeling afraid of saying anything which might cause an argument, and I attempted to journal my feelings on my phone for when the next big talk would happen. This person has suggested that I try to communicate in a different way and that I should record things since they felt my concerns were all made up. So that's what I did. In my journaling, I detailed moments when I asked this person to be careful because there was a cable wrapped around their foot, and they aggressively snapped at me, and I left the venue to cry out. A moment where I tried to tell them they were being sharp, to which they almost immediately changed their pitch and told me that I didn't know what I was talking about and I was making all of this up. Then, they told me that my journaling was making them out to be a bad person and that I was being abusive and manipulative to them. They also told me in a heat of the moment that I'm an awful person who'll never be able to make friends, that all of their friends hate me, and they hate the way that I treat them, that I am a sad, traumatized child who'll never be able to heal, and then they started to scream, crying and yelling at me, saying that I raped them. At this point, I'm afraid and began recording with the voice memos on my phone. They told me that I raped them and that I said no, and that they were drunk, and beyond them saying no, that I acted anyway. At that point, I immediately switched up to the maps, routing us 39 hours back home. Their tone changed immediately as I turned the car to start driving. They said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Going home." They said, "Why?" I said, "Because you are telling me that I raped you, and you are reciting a narrative that I've never heard before." I put the car in reverse, but they got upset, saying, "So you just want to give up? We're not going to finish our tour?" And I responded by saying, "We are going home. We are never working together again unless we seek therapy together or separately." I told them that this was not my way of giving up, but instead of trying to facilitate a conversation within therapy to figure out what mechanisms we were to play, which some conversation kept happening and getting worse each time. This person begged to continue the tour, not to go home, promising me that they will seek therapy when we finish the tour. We both agreed to finish the tour, that once we return home, we would immediately seek therapy. Let's fast forward to this week. I tell this person that I no longer want to hang out or be around them if they are drinking after a messy weekend, and I ask them to please understand where I am coming from. This person agrees. I then asked if they wanted to look together for a therapist. They agree. I asked that we please maintain communication through work and therapy because I'm going through a hard time without them, as they have not come to work calls at all this week. In response to this person sending me harassing text messages. I asked them to stop texting me 3 times. They did not stop. I told them that the appointment therapy was at 6 on Friday. On Friday at 5:30, 30 minutes before therapy, this is when that person made the post on the GRLwood page. So, my take from all of this was, the night in question, was there a sexual interaction? Yes. Were sexual interactions common between you two? Yes. Was consent given in this specific incident? Yes, with much verbal clarity. Was the word yes used? Yes phrased as yeah, so yes. Was there alcohol involved that you were aware of? Yes. 2 beers and what I was aware of approximately 2 hours prior to the incident. Was this person seeming coherent, receptive, and communicating in a way which led you to believe consent was safe and possible? Yes. After the event, did you clarify consent, asking if they were feeling alright? They said yes. Did intimate relations continue after this past event? And this person said yes. Since our initial conversation about this incident, I understand from mutual friends that this person's narrative has changed, and I am now hearing that I am malicious, an evil rapist, and that this person was unconscious. I do not know if this is a narrative that this person is telling now for sure, but they are saying that they were unconscious, and it is terribly inaccurate. This person is obviously coming from a place of hurt right now, and it's important that this support system and that it's obviously that they are going through a tough time, and my intention is not to take that away from them. And I do not want to silence them, but I am sharing my experience. I just lost my best friend. I am receiving death threats, calling for my blood. People are telling me that they want to put bricks on my head and murder me. Listening is really important, and I understand why people have flocked in such fast and large a mass in support of this person. I'm the sole writer of GRLwood's lyrics, with the except of the song Masturbation. In those words, you resonate deeply with our mine. They come from my journal and from my life experiences. I hope that if you can listen to me sing about these topics that are so important to me, you can listen to my hands type this message. I'll leave comments open so that if anyone is lost or not in the loop of what is going on, they can gather whatever information they want and discuss it from here. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I want this to be a conversation. I'm not silencing this person, and I have a voice too. I maintain with the 6 o'clock therapy appointment on Friday that this person was scheduled to join, and I will continue my appointments to process this with a professional. Now please stop saying you're going to kill me. Sincerely, blank. So after hearing that long message where I'm literally losing my voice, how do you feel about it now?
I still want to be neutral, because, you never know, but it sounds like it was just an accusation for attention. To be honest.
Yeah, I don't really know. But now we're going to be moving on to the final post, which was made by the person who accused this other person of raping them. And I'll just leave it up to you guys. So after that was posted, this is what that person had to respond to the alleged rapist's, response. So they said, "This is the last thing I'm going to say on the matter because I wish to close this door and finally begin healing. I'll try to make this short and concise. Originally, I did not want to give intimate details out of respect for my own privacy, so here's the biggest thing I can say. Immediately. This person is an absolute liar. What they say and what they posted on the GRLwood page is not true. It is an absolute lie, an attempt to save themselves from what they did to me. Several days leading up to my rape, this person was trying to have sex with me. They said that they always wanted to take off my clothes, and I always told them that I did not want to. I told them that I was dealing with previous sexual trauma and my body dysmorphia, and I did not want to be touched. I told them this repeatedly. I told them repeatedly that I did not want to be touched. Flash forward to the night of my rape. We played a show at a venue called the Listing Loon in Cincinnati. After our show, I drank two 12 to 14% beers and realized that I could not handle it. I understood that the beers were a high percentage, but I thought that if I only had 2, that I would still be coherent. No, and the answer to that is no. I locked myself in the bathroom and began puking. from being so intoxicated, and I was so drunk that I passed out with my head on the toilet lid. I woke up. No idea how much time passed. To this person banging on the door that I better open it or that they would fire me and find another drummer. This is the last memory of that night. I woke up the next morning naked and next to that person. I told them repeatedly that I did not want to have sex with them leading up after that. I told them repeatedly that I did not want to take off my clothes. And I told them that I was dealing with my sexual body and dysmorphia. I confronted this person about this while on tour, and they agreed I was raped. I told them that our next song, Take Off Your Clothes, was about me, and my mind shatters when we play it. They agreed that from that point that we would never play that song live again. Alcohol and substance abuse was brought up heavily in an attempt to destroy my credibility. I smoke weed, and I do indeed drink alcohol on occasion. So am I a drug addict? No. Am I an alcoholic? No. Have I ever drank too much in a night? Yes. Again, does that make me an alcoholic? No.
Yes.
Even if I was a drug addict or an alcoholic, does that mean that I am incapable of being raped? No. 6 months ago, this person was hanging out with my current girlfriend and broke down and admitted to raping me. That person knows that, because they did. My ex-girlfriend saw how that person treated me. My closest friends saw how that person treated me. For nearly 3 years, my closest friends told me to get out of this abusive relationship. I did not listen, and I should have. Success felt better than respecting myself. However, I did quit in the peak of our success. No one in the world knew that I was going to make that post and quit. No one. I told this person I was considering leaving the band due to the years of being treated poorly by them, but they did not know that I was going to do that. And I have thrown away thousands of dollars from an upcoming contract to do this. And I have thrown away my complete income to do this. I am doing this out of my love for my own heart and soul. I have so much pain and anger at myself for staying so long. I threw this away the moment we reached viral success. The thought of being attached to this person any longer made me sick. They are a liar, a manipulator, and yes, they are a rapist. They did rape me. The posts that they made absolutely disgust me. It's all a blatant lie. Do what you choose with all this info. I have my truth, and that is all I need. I am strong and I am proud of myself. I have survived an extremely abusive relationship, and I'm finally able to speak up, to tell the world my darkest secret, and it is not easy. To see this person tell my darkest secret with such inaccurate detail and made up fluff is disgusting. Effing disgusting. Thank you for all the overwhelming support. I'm forever grateful to each and every one of you, and this is the last time you'll ever hear me speak publicly on this. It's time for me to heal. And so the comments, oh, by the way, I couldn't read the comments on that original person's, the person who was, like, allegedly raped. They said that they were going to keep the comments on, but they didn't. So this person said, the most liked one is blank, we will always love and support you. You as a victim should not have to explain yourself. I'm sorry for all you've been through. We will always be here for you as fans. Another person said, their story doesn't make any sense. They're covering their obvious lies and talking about their own trauma. We stand with you. So that's the GRLwood drama. I'm not taking a side. I'm going to support both of them in their own separate ways. People might call me out for supporting a rapist, but personally, I think both of their stories are valid in their own way, and I think that they need to move on. I think that them together just isn't a good thing. So if you guys want to put in the comments and educate me some more on this subject, I might change my views. You know, I don't know. But it's personally where I stand. I'm going to support both of them as much as I possibly can. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if there's honestly anything else, I might give you an update or something. But yeah, that's everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys watched this full thing, comment down below. Well, before you write your finalized comments, make sure that you put just some sort of emoji. Any emoji. Put any emoji before you start writing it, and then I'll know that you guys watched the whole video, and I will try to like your comment. And yeah, so that's that. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. My sister has been so annoying throughout this whole entire thing.
He looks like a monkey.
I'm going to... Okay, bye.